Hello, welcome to Todd Miller TV. Today is the after Thanksgiving edition of the show. It's the Friday after Thanksgiving here in the office while everybody else is out recreating and getting it done today. Wanted to share with you something that I found out. You know, there's been all this news about illegal foreclosures, and what I want to do is talk about two things. One is to define what that means, and then two is to talk about who and why people are stirring the pot about this, because this is really what this is all about. So, okay, so I'll start off with a disclosure. I am not an attorney. I have been to law school. I do have an MBA. I have a good general understanding of business and how things work. So, what an illegal foreclosure is means it's just any foreclosure that doesn't follow the law. That's it. So, when you hear illegal foreclosure, a lot of times you think of, you know, the bank just, person's making their payment every month on time, and the bank says, forget it, we're just going to go and take that house away from them. We're going to kick them out of the house. We're just going to foreclose and throw them out. And that's sort of what you hear in your mind. When you hear illegal foreclosure, you think that they just did that. And I'm not saying that doesn't happen, but most of what happens when a person gets foreclosed is it's a very complex process the state has put in place to say you will do all these specific steps, and there are some things in there that are maybe subject to some somebody's opinion or technicality. So I'll give you an example. Let's say that your house has been foreclosed, and you didn't make your payment for 2 years, and they filed a notice default. They posted a couple notice of trustee sales, but they canceled them. Then they had to refile a notice of default because you can only do so many before you have to start the process over. And they do that 2 or 3 times. So it's been 2 years, you haven't made your payment. And then the last time they do it, they file a notice of default. They're supposed to wait maybe 90 days, but let's say it's because of a weekend or something weird. They post a notice of trustee sale on the 89th day. Well, technically, they can't foreclose because they missed the notice of trustee sale minimum by a day. So here's the scenario. That all happens. Notice of trustee sale. The house is sold. Goes back to the bank. Somebody buys it as a bank-owned home. A couple years later, the homeowner knocks on their door, or the previous owner knocks on their door and says, hey, I just realized this house was illegally foreclosed. So I'm going to go to a court and ask a judge to throw you guys out of the house even though you actually paid a market value for the house. And as far as you know, that it was all done. There was title research done, and there's a title insurance policy on it. And I'm going to get the house back. And of course, attorneys would take that case because they would tell that person, yes, you were illegally foreclosed on. They would make a big deal about it. And then, this would go before a judge. And I just personally can't imagine a judge throwing people out of a house in that case. And that just because, there was a piece of something wrong. It's important that legally that all this due process and everything is followed so people are treated fairly and everything. And what happens is if a piece of, if a date is written wrong on a thing, or if somebody signs it wrong or something like that, then all of a sudden it's deemed illegal when in actuality it's valid. It's following the law. The attorneys are very up on this because they intentionally make the law very complex, so you'll have to use their services if you need anything legal done. They don't want it to be a simple process. It has to be complex, so that you'll have to hire them. So that brings me to my next point, who is stirring the pot. Well, it's interesting when I see all the articles about illegal foreclosures, there's always attorneys on the other side saying, we sit with people all the time, and 90% of the people, when we look at their foreclosure, it was done illegally. Because, there may have been 5 sales of that property to different mortgage-backed security trusts and things like that, and maybe they didn't sign off on it within a certain time frame or whatever. So now the new person who has the note says, look, I don't care about what the previous people did. I hold the note. I'm foreclosing on the house because it's a default. They foreclose on it, but that chain isn't maybe there, which is why we have title insurance. So anyway, I think a lot of people stirring the pot in this are people that tend to benefit from this legally. They found this interesting niche where there's a lot of foreclosures happening. Banks, frankly, aren't maybe designed to do that much exact paperwork. I see it all the time, even in my business. even agents, when they fill out purchase agreements, they make mistakes on them sometimes. And when we get the offers in, we look and go, hey, there's a mistake. I can't imagine, like, a couple years later, coming back and going, well, you made a mistake technically when you filled out this purchase agreement. You said this, so you don't really own the house, and we're going to take it back, even though you paid the money for it. Anyway, when you hear illegal foreclosures, I just want you to keep that in your mind, that that doesn't mean it was any major thing. It could be a very minor paperwork thing that was done. And you know that the government is very specific. And you've probably seen this if you've ever gone to the post office and tried to get mailbox keys for your house, and they want very specific things. If you don't have exactly what they want, or there's like a number wrong or something, they go, forget it, we're not going to give you your stuff. So anyway, that I just wanted to share that with you. I thought it was interesting. So that is my update for today, and hope to see you on another video. Thanks.